lawmakers to always find time to meet together without any form of mutual suspicion, because they all work together towards helping Nigeria move the economy forward. So for me, they would have consulted the respective committees and would have shown this into respective committees. Had they done that, it would have been easier for them. It would have been easier. But I believe there's no way it would have been easier unless they have sufficient information. Because if you don't have sufficient information, the committees will still reject it at committee level, even though that would have been better for the presidency, because at committee level it can still work before it comes to the House and the Senate, so that we wouldn't have had what we had yesterday when the Senate stepped it down. People said that they have rejected it. They didn't reject. What they did was, look, you have to go back to the drawing board and come back with all the necessary information we need, and which makes sense to me. Because they cannot just approve that without, because if they approve it, where would they start the oversight function? If they don't have the necessary information. If the money voted for agriculture, you said they are going to use agriculture, then moves to water or moves to roads, how will you then stop it? How would you then ensure that that doesn't happen? So what I'm saying is that let's borrow wisely. This government can borrow at, for me, even 30 billion, I can move it to 40, 50. So long as we justify it that this will add tremendous value to the economy. For example, if we are borrowing today and say that we want to fix the power sector, we want to move power from where it is today to 20,000 megawatts, then, and they show where the money is coming from and the companies that will build this power infrastructure, then everybody will applaud the government. But you cannot just say, give a list of what you're going to do. It's not enough. It's not enough to give a list. You have to show how you have come up with the list, why you have come up with the list, so that you justify it not only to National Assembly, but to an average Nigerian, and also those people who are giving the money. Because, by the way, who are giving the money? Have they gone through the projects that the money is being borrowed for? Even the China Exim Bank, or even the China, even the Asian Investment Development Bank, that is now a major force to reckon with. I don't think they will just hand you money without knowing how you spend the money, because also they are interested in recovering their investment.
Tell us the benefits of history. I mean, the ones we borrowed in time past, do you think we have borrowed wisely?
No. Let me tell you what happened. In 1977 or 1976 precisely, Obasanjo borrowed to finance Festac. And how much did Obasanjo borrow? Let me make it clear here. Obasanjo borrowed 1.75 billion. By the time the Shagari administration came in, they borrowed 2.28 billion. So by 1980, Nigeria has 4.03 billion. Now, let me tell you why the loan was very bad. Obasanjo borrowed to invest in Festac, built so many infrastructure for Festac, but it was a white elephant project. Nobody thought about, why are we borrowing this money? Is it adding value to the economy? Then there was oil. Then when the politicians under Buhari borrowed the 2.28 billion, actually, over 70% of the money never even left New York banks. They were just diverted by politicians, and there was most of them, the money was not spent on any project. That was actually, people do not understand why Buhari came on board in December 1983. Was because he wanted to query the money borrowed, where was the money, and why was the money not being spent in Nigeria. Now, when the investigations were going, it was pointed at some banks like Citibank and JP Morgan. And as a result, Buhari, it was inevitable to remove Buhari, because should we have uncovered the fraud, the international banks involved in this fraud would have been in trouble, because the world would have known the type of fraud they committed. But you see, because it was for consumption, there was no way you could have had the return on investment in order to justify the loan, not to mention paying back the loan. Now,
so you agree with those who say that from our experience, we've not had a very good experience with taking loans, and so they're skeptical about this one. You do see reason with them, don't you?
Yeah, but the reason I say with them is historical, but the historical issues have been dealt with. Right now, remember that then we had only one monopoly lender. Today we have diverse lenders who have a lot of funds out there. China has it, even South Korea has it, even India you're talking about has it. So why can't we borrow? I'm in agreement that we should borrow, but we borrow wisely.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing about borrowing. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Odili, we have to thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily. The program will continue in just a moment. Do join us again.